First of all, a very good evening to one and all. My friends, this is Tejpal Sand before you again to discuss a very important big throw amid the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict. So, my dear friends, today Iran has set three conditions, major conditions for ending this war. Donald Trump's assessment seems to be miscalculated before launching attack on Iranians, IRGC and their installations with heavy fires amid its talk. So, but the repercussions after these strikes, when it comes to retaliatory strikes by Iran on its military allies in the West Asia countries like Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, and all. So it seems that Donald Trump is on back foot right now because these negotiations are feasible only and only if the attacker or invaders seems to be lagging behind. So, what are the three major conditions portrayed by Iranian government? We will discuss in details one by one. So, majorly, it shows what reflects Iranian geopolitical strategy, their military posture, and negotiation position in this ongoing conflict. So it was articulated officially by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and their senior officials. So one by one, let's get started. Number one is recognition of Iran's legitimate rights. If we talk about legitimate rights, what all these are? In terms of sovereignty and technological advancement or developments. Basically, legitimate rights refers to right to peaceful nuclear programs or technological advancement in that particular field under nuclear non-proliferation treaty, that is called NPT worldwide. Under IAEA rules, any country has rights if he signs on NPT to enlarge or progress the nuclear energy, specifically uranium enrichment for the purpose of energy research and medicines. So this is they are just formally demanding it as a their research purposes, not for offensive weapon making system. Second is right to maintain defensive missile capabilities. Iran insists that our ballistic missiles program are specifically for defensive deterrence, not for offensive weaponization, and recognition of Iran's regional influence. Iran considers itself as a major Middle East power with influence across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Now we would like to discuss why such demands are told or accepted as controversial from the geopolitical point of view, because as we all know that over last 20 to 25 years, both USA and Israel accuse Iran of secretly developing nuclear weapons capability and supporting terrorist groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, Yemen rebels in Houthi, and Hamas in Gaza. And these conditions are also vividly linked with the 2015 nuclear deal, in which the American President Barack Obama signed this deal in this particular pretext that Iran can, continue his nuclear program, that is with purpose of energy developments as energy operation nuclear reactors. So as per as I told you earlier, NPT. But after 3 years, when Donald Trump returned to power, he withdrew this treaty and he imposes heavy sanctions on Iran. So Iran is basically today emphasizing and reminding USA's their previous deals on which they are working. So, and secondly, reparations for damage caused by the war. Basically, as we are very much aware that due to heavy strikes, back-to-back strikes on Iran by USA military powers as well as Israel Air Force, they have faced heavily losses in terms of military bases, IRGC infrastructures and installations, their refineries, gas pipelines and industrial areas, urban and civilian casualties. So economic impact, if you talk about, because Iran's economic majorly relies on oil and gas exports. So due to such kind of damages, heavy damages, as I mentioned above, it causes reduced production, limit exports and causes inflation and economical instability. So coming to the causes discussed here, there is a historical context on such kind of demands. As we know that during World War I, Germany was forced to pay all the penalties because after getting defeated by their opponent groups in 1999, when the World War I gets off, Germany was forced to pay heavy penalty amounts and a large number of military restrictions were also imposed on this country. So you know how much realistic and practical it was. We are very well aware of it because after Adolf Hitler, the dictator of Germany, he again jumped into the Second World War and he denied this treaty. That is called, I think, Treaty of Versailles in 1990. That was officially internationally accepted and signed document. So again, what the consequences Germans faces, we know. So argument is like that USA, Britain and France against Germany in World War II. So Iran is portraying himself on that particular stage. That was against German. So thirdly, third condition is what? International guarantee against future invasion by US and Israel. Iran seeks legally bounding security assurance, a formal commitment against airstrikes, cyber attacks, assassinations, military sabotage, and because as we have observed last year in June, there was again Iran was under heavy attacks for around 12 days. Then a ceasefire was managed. That was totally held after 8 months. That was on temporary negotiation basis with involvement of third countries and meditations. So why Iran announced these conditions right now in this ongoing war? So what can be the objective of Iranian officials or all leadership? So I think it can be listed in 2 points. Diplomatic messaging. Iran is in possession of diplomatic messaging to the world that the attacks and or invasion was initiated by USA and Israel, and in defense, being a sovereign country, we are very much capable of defending us, and now we are ready to end this war, but on certain conditions. That is diplomatic message, I think. And second one is psychological warfare. It shows that it is portraying USA and Israel are aggressor countries in this world and we are defenders. So we were left high and dry. Other than retaliations, we had no choices. Third one is negotiation leverage. That is, initially high demands are sought, and then some sort of lower categories of negotiations could take place. That is, I think, negotiation leverage. And last one is domestic political messaging. Iranian leadership is making understood their own civilians, their own public, as well as their regional allies, that we are standing behind you, we are standing by you, by our blood, and we are very much capable of, and we are not going down USA and Israel, and we are not getting compromised, and we are not getting surrendered. So I think this is all the negotiation leverage and all these things. So what do you think in this particular context? Do you see or find such deals realistic in practical manner, whether they will feasible or not in the near coming future? Because I think the global power like USA rarely accepts such negotiations, because if he does so, uh, international defamation of USA as an invader, as an aggression on political career Donald Trump. Because, and right now I don't think I'm really not able to make out, and why the invasion was taken place by the USA in Israel, on behalf of Israel. And right now USA leadership is itself in confusion and dilemma. Then what was the exact objective once they have launched and articulating that we have obliterated everything inside Iran? And beside these things, even today, as of now, the Strait of Hormuz, that is the crucial key route for the South Asia in Persian Gulf, that is also even today under control of Iran. So what do you think? What is your take? I would like to expect your point of view in this regard, and kindly just give your opinions and feedbacks in comment box. Thank you for your kind attentions, and have a good night. Thank you. Jai Hind.